Hey guys, BMac here for podcast number 55. I'm here today with a very, very special guest, a close friend of mine for at least 3 or 4 years now, named Jerry Sellison. We're talking about his life and all that fun stuff. So, Jerry, welcome to your first appearance on the BMac, the Blindcaster podcast.
Hey, Brian. How you doing, man?
How you doing, brother? So let's talk about start off first here. Tell me about your life as a youngster.
As a youngster?
Yes.
I don't know if I can remember back that far.
Okay.
But anyway, when I was a kid, I loved baseball.
Yep.
So I used to play baseball all the time. And the big thing with me is, because I'm an old man,
Yep.
I always remember, well, first of all, I was born in Long Beach, California. My dad was in the military during the war.
Wow.
And I was born in Long Beach, California. And when I was 7 years old, we moved to Boston. So I'm pretty much consider myself a Bostonian. So the big thing is, I was about 8 years old, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And my dad took me to see the Red Sox play, and I always wanted to be a baseball player. So I saw a game between, and I'm pretty sure I remember this correctly. It was a game between the Red Sox and the Cleveland Indians, and it went into extra innings. And I'll always remember this part of it. Who was in left field but Ted Williams?
Ted Williams.
Remember the Splendid Splinter, right?
Yes.
Ted Williams was in left field, and they had a long fly ball. There was runners on first and second, no outs. A long fly ball to left field, and Ted Williams was never known as a really good fielder. And he put up his glove and look, one of those, look what I found. Caught the ball, threw it to second, threw it to first, triple play.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll always remember that as long as I live. And that was over 60 years ago, so it's a long time ago. But anyway, I played a lot of sports when I was young. When I was a bit older, when I became a teenager, I was into working part-time and making money. So then when I graduated high school, I went to St. Clement's High School in the West Somerville, Medford area. And then I went to BC, and I graduated BC. In my senior year, which was January 1970,
Wow.
I met my wife.
Your wife?
So I met my wife, and that was, if you're doing the math, that was 50 years ago this month. And we got married in September. Actually, how was this for wedding anniversary? We got married on September 11th.
Wow.
And 1971. And so in September, we will be married 49 years.
That's a lot.
I have two children. I have my son Scott is 46.
Yep.
My daughter Jean is 43, and I have two grandsons, Braden and Jacob. Braden is 14. He's a freshman at St. John's Prep, and Jacob goes to Tewksbury Schools. He's in the 6th grade.
Were you an athletic kid in school or not really?
I was so athletic. I wasn't that good. My big thing is, and I still do this to this day, I started playing golf when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So I still play golf. As you know,
Yeah.
I work part-time at Tewksbury Country Club, and I play a lot of golf in the good weather, not so much now.
Right.
But and I'm a bowler. In the wintertime, this time of year, I bowl. I worked 20 years in the defense industry, and then I worked 20 years for the Air Force. So when I worked up for the Air Force, I used to bowl on the base, and I retired 10 years ago, and I still bowl on the base with friends I have over at Hanscom Air Force Base.
Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Do you miss working? Do you miss doing the Air Force stuff, or do you kind of?
I do. I kind of do in some respects. It takes a bit getting used to, as far as being retired and not knowing what you're going to do. But as you know, and as I know, that's how you and I met when your mom reached out to me when I was involved with the Tewksbury Lions Club, and we were looking for to get you a Braille computer.
Yeah.
And we presented it to you about a year and a half ago, give or take, at a golf tournament we had at Tewksbury Country Club. And we were able to take care of that because the Lions are always big in helping people with vision problems.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I like organizing things and putting events together.
Yeah.
I've been doing that forever. Have you ever participated or in the Tewksbury Memorial Day Parade? Have you ever been a part of that, or you never?
I've never been a part of that.
No, actually, I helped organize that back in the '80s and early '90s, and it went from like a small, like 3 or 4 marching groups to a really big parade it is today. So it's one of the things I'm proud of that we did for the community. So, and as I mentioned to you before, in addition, I was on the Board of Selectmen from '03 to '09. So I believe in term limits. So you do your thing, you get in, you do your thing, and you go back to your real life. So
Yeah.
that's when I'm kind of now I'm just helping out some friends of mine. They they run a sobriety house. It's called Into Action Recovery, and I'm helping them raise some money so they can provide scholarships to young because right now it's only for young men. Long term, they're hoping to open a house for young ladies with either alcohol or drug addiction.
Well, that's very good. They're doing
Yeah.
a lot of fun stuff.
They're doing a great job.
Have you become friends with like the ladies that you work with and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've known the Cooper sisters for a while now. They're real nice ladies, and they've had their own problems. One of the ladies that is involved with it, she lost a son to drug addiction about 2 or 3 years ago. So it's very, very sad. But they're trying to make a difference. So I appreciate people in the community that try to make a difference.
I want to ask you too. You said you mentioned sports. I mean, I met a lot of sports people in my day. Some of the signings. Those names are just see what you think. One word. Dick Williams.
Remember Dick Williams.
Name? Yes.
He was the manager of the Red Sox.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you like him as a manager when he managed the Red Sox?
He was no, as I remember, it's been a while. He was kind of a no nonsense kind of guy. He didn't take any baloney. He did really good. Over the years, I've seen the Red Sox play good, and I've seen them play really bad. When I was in my early 20s, when I was single and had more than 2 nickels to rub together, me and a bunch of my buddies, we used to go to the Red Sox game. I think in '67, what they call the Impossible Dream Year. Do you remember? You don't remember that because you're too old. You're too young. Excuse me, too old. But but that was what they call the Impossible Dream Year, and the Red Sox won the American League pennant. And that year, me and my buddies, we went to about 20, 25 games. So I loved going, and we'd sit wherever. That was before people used to sit on the wall. That was way before that. They didn't have seats up there anymore. But they've done I will tell you, the management has done a great job refurbishing that, slowly but surely refurbishing the Fenway Park.
Do you think, ever since Poppy has left, do you think we need I think as a team, I'd like to see somebody new become that symbol that Poppy was.
That leader?
Yeah.
I was hoping Pedroia was going to become that leader.
Yeah.
But, he's been hurt the past 2 years. So, I don't know. I haven't seen, fortunately or unfortunately for me, I've seen people that play the game for the love of the game. I think more and more now it's become all about how much money they can make. And can I make 25 million? Can I make 30 million? Can I make 35 million? And at some point, it's kind of like, how much money do you really need? But anyway, what do I know?
So let's talk about really quick. Let's talk about how me and you kind of established our friendship, because this is going on at least two years, I would say.
Yeah. So that was when your mom had reached out to us. She was looking for a Braille computer, and that's when I was the president of the Tewksbury Lions Club. And I reached out to Joan Percheski, who was involved with the District 33N, which is the big district which oversees about 45 different Lions Club. And she was able to locate a Braille computer for you.
Yeah.
And then we presented it to you at an event we had at Tewksbury Country Club back about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then you and I met then, and we became kind of friendly, and now that.
All right, sorry guys about that. We had a little technical snafu there, but what were you saying, Jerry, about how we,
Well,
friendly?
so we were able to get you the computer, the Braille computer,
Yes.
and then we became friends.
Yeah.
And then, as I remember it, in October every year for a number of years now, we've done a spaghetti supper at the Tewksbury Country Club, and we invited you to sing the national anthem.
Yep.
And we brought in the color guard from the fire department, and you sang the national anthem, and we because of the fact that you got the Braille computer now, and let me move over this side a little bit.
Yeah.
And because of the fact you got the Braille, we keep in touch on Facebook all the time. So,
Yeah.
And the other thing is, in October of 2018, that is when you met Jim Lyons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so you become friends with Jim Lyons, and I know you've sang some and done a bunch of different things for him, both at his business and in the State House.
Yes.
So we're trying to make you a star. We're working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how good are we doing? Are we doing okay?
Are you asking me or asking Tania?
I don't know, Tania. What do you think? Are we making him a star yet?
I think so.
We're doing okay, huh?
He's doing well.
Good.
Doing okay.
Awesome.
No, and then so what I want to know is because you're an older guy, so I'm going to try and ask this
now.
I don't like the fact that my generation of athletes don't seem to be into the team playing as much as they are more about themselves. Do you think that's a problem? I think, this day and age, kids that are my age or athletes that are my age don't care about the team as they do more about the money. You think that's accurate?
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit earlier. I see that more and more all the time, and I see more and more. You see it a lot in football. You see it somewhat in baseball. Those are the two sports I follow the closest. But I think there's an awful lot of what I call showboating, and personally, I don't care for that. I care for the fact that, and I like the fact that the Patriots are all about do your job. Yeah. Do your job and shut your mouth and do your job. I something, that's how I feel. I always feel like, you're getting paid to do a job, just do your job.
Yep. That's all you gotta do. And and I think also too, do you feel that this generation also is on their phones too often too? Because a lot of grandkids seem to,
Well, I'm kind of guilty of that too.
Right.
I spend a lot of time on my phone. My wife gets mad at me all the time, but I can understand it to a point. But at some point, you got to draw the line, and you gotta focus on what's important and what's important to you. And maybe being on the phone all the time shouldn't be as important as doing your studies and maybe playing a sport or working a part-time job.
Yeah, or doing things,
or maybe getting involved in your community.
Yeah, I'm trying to do things. And who was I'm going to ask a movie. I don't know if you're into movies or not, but who was your all-time favorite actor?
Actor?
Yes.
That's a good question.
It is.
I don't know. I'm not into watching movies that much, but I would say, as far as acting is concerned, I don't care for his politics particularly, but I would probably say Robert De Niro. I don't care for his politics, but that's okay. I think he's a really good actor, and I think over the years he's done a real good job in a lot of the movies he's been in.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw it. Do you listen to old radio shows from back in your day? Like
No, my big thing is country. I got a lot of country on my phone, and I listen to country a lot.
You do?
And I also listen to 102.5 country.
Yep.
And every once in a while, my wife and I like to go to live theater, and I like to go to musicals. So recently we went to see at North Shore, we went to see A Christmas Carol.
Yep.
We brought one of my grandsons, and that was great. And we also recently went to see Jersey Boys at North Shore Music Theater, and I love that. I like oldies music. I grew up in the late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
I like that kind of music. I'm a Beatles fan from way back.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think of Dolly Parton? because I've met her a couple times. She's actually a very sweet person.
Yeah, she seems like a really nice person. I think I saw her because we do watch country a lot, and we listen to country a lot, and we saw her recently. I think it was on a Christmas show that was on TV.
Yeah.
Recently, she was part of the show.
Yes.
And she's really, really good. I like a lot of the stuff the country does. I'm not into rock that much.
No. How do you feel about a guy named Darius Rucker? Do you know who that is?
Oh, he's awesome. He's awesome. He does probably like 3 or 4 years ago. My wife and I went on a tour. We go on tours periodically. We spent 4 days in Nashville.
Yeah.
A couple of days in Memphis, and then a couple of days in New Orleans. So it was called the music tour.
Okay.
And when we were in Memphis, we went to the Country Hall of Fame, and we got to see, hear a lot of music. And you go up and down. There's nothing but bars up and down the strip, and you go from one bar to another. And we went to Sun Studios, and we saw where Elvis recorded some music, and some of the different early recorders recorded some music. That was a lot of fun. And they brought us into this one room. It was kind of funny, and they had us sing an Elvis song.
Wow.
And then that night, when we went to a local restaurant, they had dinner and dancing, and they introduced us as a new group, and they played the song on. It was pretty funny, actually.
Wow.
They played the song we had recorded earlier in the day.
Oh,
it was
wow.
pretty funny, yeah. So my wife and I do a lot of tours. We've gone to Alaska. We've gone to we've gone to Hawaii. We've gone to the Southwest. We've gone to California. And in the end of February, we're heading for Aruba for like 8 days. So we like keep on the go. We got to enjoy our life as long as we got it, right?
Yep, that's right.
There you
go. And I want to ask you too. You mentioned Hall of Fames. Why do you think Hall of Fames though induct acts that people don't want inducted? Do you know anything about that music wise? Like I feel like Hall of Fames don't listen to what the fans want inducted, and don't listen to what the fans want inducted.
I know. But it's all a matter of interpretation, don't you think? I mean, if somebody thinks this group is good and maybe you don't think that group that's good, but overall they're received well, don't you think they deserve an opportunity?
Yeah, but I feel like that every band should get inducted. Maybe not every band.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. But
no.
Anyway, no, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And you said you enjoyed Elvis back in the day, right? You were an Elvis fan?
Yeah.
And why do you think? I heard some stories that Elvis could be very mean. Do you think that's any were true? Or do you think that's false? What they said about Elvis? They said he could be mean to his wives or jealous, or do you think that's at all accurate?
I have no idea. All I know is that I liked him as an entertainer. I will tell you that, he had a big problem with drugs, as you know. So that could have been part of the problem right there.
Yeah. You mentioned you listen to music. I know you're not a rock guy, but do you like the singer Freddie Mercury? I don't know if you're really into him.
I don't know if I'm not familiar with that particular name. No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Don't worry about that. It's all good. But were you a fan of Dwight Evans on the Red Sox?
Yeah, he was. He wasn't the best offensive player in the world, but he was an outstanding defensive player. He was really, really good in right field. Todd Nixon was another one.
Yep.
He was a dirt dog. He did a really good job out there in right field. So.
Jim Lonborg is a dentist now.
Yes.
Did you ever cross?
I saw him pitch. Remember we were talking earlier about
the Dream Team.
The Impossible Dream Team?
Yeah.
1967. He was the premier pitcher that year.
Wow.
He won a lot. I don't know what 20-something games, if I remember. I don't remember the exact number, but yeah.
But wow, what a team that was! I mean, you had guys.
Oh, that was an unbelievable team. That was a great Rico Petrocelli. There's a name from the past.
Rico.
Yep.
Jim Rice. I mean, that was later. But,
Jim Rice.
Yep, Jim Rice. Bill Lee.
Yastrzemski was on that team.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Yastrzemski was on that team.
Did you?
I think.
Hey guys, we are back with Jerry. So we were talking about the Red Sox, and you said you saw Jim Rice and those guys pitch. You said Yaz. You said.
Yaz, I'm pretty sure that was the year Yaz won the Triple Crown. Runs batted in, batting out. I think he tied for home runs, but he had the highest batting average and he had the highest RBIs. Yep. So they considered him the Triple Crown winner. I'm pretty sure, as I remember.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Yaz? Or
no, I never got a chance to meet many ball players. Years ago, way back when, I was 12 or 13 years old. So
many years
probably
ago. Yes.
A long time ago, 60 years ago.
Wow.
My uncle worked for at the time, it was the Milwaukee Braves. It was the Boston Braves, and then it was the Milwaukee Braves, and now it's the Atlanta Braves. And my uncle was a big shot with the Milwaukee Braves, and I got to meet Hank Aaron.
And what was Hank Aaron? What was he a nice guy when you met him?
Yeah, he seemed like a very nice guy, very down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only quote unquote legitimate baseball player I ever met. But that was really cool. I got to meet Hank Aaron.
Do you think? I feel like he wasn't treated very well when he was playing.
No, he wasn't. He didn't get any. I don't think he got as much respect as he wasn't a really big guy. Like some of these guys are really big, but he had unbelievable. His swing reminded me a little bit of Mookie Betts.
Yep.
He had a really quick bat. He had really quick hands, and he had a really quick bat, and that's how he was able to hit so many home runs because he wasn't a really big guy.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure, Jerry. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast. I mean, this has been a joy for me to have you on this podcast. This has been very, very fun, and again, I hope to have you on again soon. And wonderful time.
All right.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
We did good.
Thank you so much, my man. And thank you, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later, guys. Me scooting here.
Yeah.
BMac out.
BMac out.
Yes, Jerry.